2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you so much for your support thus far for Gores Rising number 3, day number 1. Tomorrow will be both of the semifinals and the grand finals as well. But right now, this is the round of 8. The winner of this match will move on into the semifinals and continue their hunt into that ever-so-raising prize pool brought to you by the generosity of all you lovely people. On the left side, or on the left side, on the blue side of the map, is going to be once again Team Volatile. Leo Grande on Muriel, that one legend. He played Grim extraordinarily well in the last match we saw, so look out for another breakout performance on him. Omain on Iggy and Scorch, Pixel on Twin Blast, Nebos on Steel. And
on, just had a brain fart there.
That is orange or red.
On orange, we have Raptor Spank playing Steel. Bixel is on Iggy and Scorch. God's Gunman is on Muriel. Crazy Fool on Murdoch. And Unbound Fire is on Twin Blast. That is going to be Team Arctic Wolves. Lots of vision already. We see 5 people mid here, Gooch. Are we going to see an aggressive mid, or are we just going to see these guys push the minion wave out a little bit? But I mean, the 5-minute posturing in mid is something we saw last week from Arctic Wolves. They stayed mid. They kind of kept the enemy team here, and then about a minute and 30, minute 45, they started rotating out and getting their white camps. With Iggy and Scorch, Omain and Bixel both on Iggy and Scorch, you can see just how easy it is to clear these minion waves. And push them back. But both teams are actually going to do that. They're just going to clear this minion wave. We'll probably see them rotate out and get the camps afterwards. I don't think we're going to see a major engagement. And as I say that, I'm a liar. Because
these guys, level 1 engagements right here in an open area like this are so difficult. One team has to make a huge mistake when they're all level 1. Steel doesn't have his ultimate. He only has his charge, or he only has his shield. He doesn't have his charge yet. So the tools simply aren't there for either one of these teams to initiate. So it's just a standoff. Hello, how are you? Let's bump the fist, get into a good game. Keep it clean. And now we see them rotating good old to their camps. So Grim once again on the other side of the field. Now, I mean, Arctic was not going with Grim at all. Going with Murdoch and Twin Blast instead. So they definitely have a different ideology as far as where they think Grim stands, or a very specific composition. This is going to be the first time we've seen Steel today. Steel's a very common ban, and the main reason we see him banned out is his initiation is so extraordinarily strong. His ultimate shield slam has a very large distance. It's a long AoE. It has a significant amount of damage. And when you pair it up with a Murdoch, and this is why I'm talking about this, when you have a devastating blast with a Steel ult, it's one of probably the best-known kind of 1-2 punches in the game. A Steel ultimate into a devastating blast coming out here, and that's something that is on the sides of Arctic Wolves, but both not teams on the side. I mean, I guess you could say that a GTFO coming out from Grim is kind of the same, but it doesn't do as much damage, and there's not as much synergy between Grim and Steel as there is between Murdoch and Steel.
Right. If you look, both teams were actually, they were trying. I was expecting a little bit of a team fight there, but they. Oh wow, I'm having a major brain fart.
That's all right, man.
My colors are backwards, is what the issue is. Oh. So when you said, so I'm trying to get those, trying to deal with that. It looks like though that Arctic Wolves is not going to
they're going to just lose this tower.
Blue buff, and they're going to take a tower.
I love it. This is beautiful. They must have known that they were at their orbs, taking the orbs, and all of a sudden losing that left lane tower with pretty much no contention whatsoever. We see a counter push coming out here.
They're gonna head mid. So my colors are back. So for me,
my colors are good. But yeah, in the mid lane, they're gonna be able to take. They're not gonna be able to take down this tower. So they essentially just gave up that left lane for free, and that's the lane that the orb prime has opened up. So already, we see that there is a when it comes to map control, the advantage in Arctic Wolves' favor. I don't know if Arctic Wolves knew that Team Volatile was just on the other side of the map picking up their blue camp, because it's not like there was a ward there. If they just said, hey, this opportunity is presented. And now another tower pretty much given up for free, but they're actually are going to try to punish this. The flank coming up from the jungle. Charge onto Raptor Spank. He actually used his shield right there. He's got to be careful. So they aren't going to be able to get anything out of this. So 2 towers already down 5 minutes into the match. This pace of the game already much faster than what we've seen today from previous games, Notch.
Yeah, we did see. I mean, Arctic Wolves taking out the prime tower, if we will, where they're taking out the lane, the tower in the lane where you would capture the prime orb. I feel like that's probably the better tower to attack, Yes, mid it's a shorter path to those tier 2s and inhibitors, but they have the advantage now. If we see an early game prime, we see a lot of teams about 11 to 13-ish minutes go after the purple gummy bear boss. So Articles have set themselves up to give them a really good advantage when they capture that, or if they go to capture that. What's card experience is very even at this point. Both teams 9 total card points. We do see the jungle harvesters are just now going up for Team Volatile. Leo is just now putting this down. We're about 5 minutes in, so 2 minutes after it spawned. Not too far behind, but you do like to see those up right at that 3-minute mark. So at 8 minutes in, you can actually gain that 300 experience from collecting those harvesters.
So the lanes are taking shape, and we're seeing that Twin Blast being dedicated over here to the right lane for SG. Already putting their Rangers on opposite sides of the field right there. Pixel's in the right lane, and it looks like Murdoch was in the jungle, buddied up with his Steel as well. So look out for some rotation. Steel, one of his strengths, and another big strength of it is that he's a presence on the map from minute number 1 all the way to the moment the core goes down. He's strong in the early game with rotations, he's strong in the mid game with his ultimate, and he's strong in the late game just because he becomes so very tanky. And initiations in the later part of this game are one of the biggest things to look out for. If you don't have strong initiations, then your late game just simply can really falter and crack underneath you. So that's something that both these teams are going to have to be very smart about as we transition. These guys are around level 4, around level 5. Harvester being picked up. 3 people in the left part of the lane. Looks like a little bit of farming emphasis on the Twin Blast. His progression for Unbound, taking a look at his items. He went with level 1 strike token. Actually went with 2 strike tokens. So an early game emphasis on Unbound Fire. More than likely, what we're going to see, he's back in right now. He's going to turn those in, spend the rest of his card points, and see this first item and second item picked up by Unbound Fire will show what progression he wants to go with. A early game emphasis, or maybe go with a crit bonus item into a secondary crit item, and that's sort of a build that we see very commonly in other Rangers. It looks like it's going to be an impact. It's going to be that Flash Fire Piston is just going to go out right. So, yeah, Unborn Fire, he's going with an early game build. I keep an eye on him, guys, because we're more than likely going to see him get a little bit more aggressive and try to have take his opponent by surprise by being a little bit stronger than what we normally see out of Twin Blast.
Yeah, while they were doing that, Team Volatile over here, they picked up the black buff. They're trying to be pretty aggressive and push this tower down. Crazy Fool and Bixel were able to clear out their minions and defend the tower for now. We do see a 3v4 in favor of Volatile at this point, but with that black buff, I mean, the extra damage you can actually do to these towers is pretty significant early game.
It is.
And it could have been, it was good rotation by Raptor Spank, making sure he was here to back up his team, giving them that extra, that tankiness that the Steel provides, and clearing out that lane. So much sight in the jungle from both of these teams. We talked about this. I cannot mention this enough, and maybe it's because I solo queue Gooch. But
The solo queue life, man.
The solo queue life. There's so much sight. You can see where these teams are coming from. The rotations, because rotating is so important, especially with the death ball and card experience.
Are they going to try to? They're going to try to pincer against the harvester. They knew what's going on. They knew they were going for the harvester, but they don't have. Yeah, the Steel is there. He's charging in, knocking up Crazy Fool. Crazy Fool is up against the rock right now. He's got to be careful. I hear a mirror ult being potentially queued up right there. So both these teams have level 5 on a couple of their heroes. Crazy Fool, there's a mirror ult. Omain is shielded up already though, due to the shield wall of Nebos' Steel. So Crazy Fool's in a lot of trouble, but they got to make sure they can't overextend. He's just constantly in poor position. Omain's trying to chase him down, but all the shields coming out here for Crazy Fool are keeping him alive somehow. He's been in such an awkward position for so long, and he's trying to turn this around on Omain. He might be going down, potentially. It's taking so long to take him out. They finally are able to take him out. There's your first blood. That was great heads-up play right there by Team Volatile. They recognized Arctic Wolves were rotating over here onto the Harvester, and that this is a very awful area to be taking team fights to get initiated on. There is no means of aggress. That's exactly what happens. So first blood, going the way of Team Volatile. They have that left tower. Open up the map a little bit for them, and this has put them in a great position.
Yeah, it really does. Team Volatile taking that kill. They're not going to lose any towers for it, but it was a very, very good kill. Or no, they're not going to get any towers. I apologize off of that kill, but it kept them Again, very aggressive, good rotation. We are going to see, like you said, Unbound Fire building early game here. These teams are we've got Nebos with the Shockwave already out. Omain is actually building kind of tanky with his Drink the Spirits. He's going for the mana, but the unique passive on that, on kill or an assist, you heal for 5% of your units killed. So he's going to try and stay. I think we will see a very tanky build out of him. Keep him in the fight longer, give him the ability to rotate behind and help set up those fights. But I mean, the lane game on this one, we see a lot of rotating from both of these teams. They're killing the jungle camps. They clear a wave, and then they move on to the next lane and clear the lanes out there. It's just a matter of time before we see a full 5-man engagement with a wipe, team wipe. Both very aggressive teams right now. I'm excited. I'm stoked for mid to late game here. I mean, we've got teams with so much potential. We saw that one Legend, the amount of damage he was dealing and the farm he had last game. The late game or mid to late game here is going to be so crucial for both of these teams. Who can get the card experience lead and make sure they stay above the insane damage that Grim actually puts out.
Yep. So with the secondary spawning of the red and blue orbs, neither of these teams deciding to get aggressive. Taking a look at the numbers, a very small lead going the way of Team Volatile. They were able to pick up that first blood, so that's more than likely where that's coming from. Steel, he is an intellect affinity, so we can pick up that Shockwave. Very, very important. Shockwave into Steel alt into Charge. There's many different variations. Any number of that is very strong. The Pixel on the Twin Blast on the other side of the field, he's going with that more, what I would dare say, orthodox, traditional build, where you get one damage item, you max it out with either minor or card cost 2 upgrade items, and then you go into your crit bonus item. Blade of Agora being the case here for Twin Blast. So he'll more than likely max that out with just 3 strikes. After that, build into maybe an Impact Hammer if he has that card available to him, or some sort of crit item, get himself around that 40% crit. So that means his progression is a little bit more focused, is a little bit delayed. The timing we're going to see out of Pixel's Twin Blast compared to Unbound Fire's Twin Blast is going to be a little bit delayed here. But if they can make it, if they can get Pixel's progression online and get him to that timing without giving up too much ground, they put themselves in a position where just by default they have a little bit of an advantage when it comes to the Ranger situation.
Yeah, they really do. It's with you said the traditional build. We see Unbound Fire going that early build. We'll most likely see him sell this Flashfire Piston off and pick up like an Agoran, Blade of Agora later on for that extra bonus crit, which bonus crit is, or crit bonus, is so big on a lot of these heroes. You see the damage spike once they get that filled up. Very, very passive as of this moment. We saw a little bit of aggression, but they're just trying to get farmed up. And with these heroes, that one Legend on Grim, the Twin Blast and the Murdoch, mid to late game heroes.
Possible initiation. They're knocking crazy full up. Look for the dunk. They're not thinking about it. There was opportunities on both sides of the field for both Steels to potentially look for an initiation.
We do have Pixel pushing against Bixel. Pixel and Bixel,
man. Here comes that initiation onto 3. It's underneath the tower. Can they follow it up? They need the follow-up right there. There's a Shockwave, though. Raptors making a lot of trouble. Another Shockwave. Knock him up. Make it 2, and he goes down. The frontliner is down for Arctic Wolves right now, so they were able to get the kill underneath the tower there. So well done. This is looking like a much more cerebral game. These teams obviously respected each other a little bit more, just looking for decisive engagements as opposed to roaming across the map almost haphazardly and just hoping for the best. These teams are definitely putting themselves, the opportunities are being forced as opposed to just falling into the hands of either team, and I think that's just because these teams are much more even matched than what we saw before. And good heads up for Team Volatile not to get too overconfident by the fact that they took out kill on sight. They're respecting Arctic Wolves. They're not getting too cocky, and it shows in their play. And that next kill is just going to continue to build this card experience advantage. Looking at Pixel, man, he has 3 more card points. He's more than likely going to have that Blade of Agora maxed out. 1 more card level will grant him the ability to max out that Blade of Agora. And the moment he starts getting that crit, he's going to start doing so much damage. And as far as Grim goes, he already has his Agoran Scepter maxed out, familiar there. So he is already on his way to his crit item as well. So, I mean, we talked about it extensively, how the early game card build coming out from Unbound Fire, they really haven't done much with it, I feel like. He is now Unbound Fire is building into that Blade of Agora. So, yeah, you actually were right. He did sell that card and picked up the Blade of Agora. So, some good foresight right there, Notch. So, I really like that build overall. It has early game emphasis. It transitions into the mid game. They weren't able to get much out of that build, but it doesn't matter because they still, Unbound Fire is going to transition into a card build that's still going to grant him and keep him pretty much around the same timings of the crit of his opponent.
Yeah, I do want to say that the lack of greed, if you will, from Team Volatile there. They got the kill on Steel. I like that they didn't try and force an engagement under the tower. We've seen so many times where you'll get a kill and instantly, we got the kill, we're up, it's 2v1, you're under a tower. They recognize where they were at on the map. They were able to
especially
still
this
pick
early
up
on. Yeah.
Yes, this early on. They were able to pick up the experience from the kill because he didn't die too far behind enemy lines, which gave them a nice advantage. But they just played it safe. They got the kill, they backed off. They know the card experience, especially right now with the team they're running. I can't, mid to late game is what we're looking at here. About 30 card points is where you'll really start to see a little bit more aggression out of these heroes. Yeah. We do see an engagement. Is that again? My colors are backwards.
Yeah,
purple gummy bear boss. They're gonna take that. I mean, it's uncontested. They do have the lane pushed out. So Arctic Wolves do have the prime here. Who's carrying it at this point?
Right now it's Iggy. Big Soul's Iggy is carrying it. Nebos, he's looking for a flank. We're going to do a little chase maneuver right here. They're trying to potentially cut him off, but nope, they're not going to be able to. So Arctic Wolves pulls a quick one underneath from Team Volatile right there. And don't forget, Arctic Wolves were able to get that tier 1 tower in the left lane very early on. I think within the first 2 minutes. So that avenue for them to turn in is already open. It's not going to go uncontested here, though. So this is it always comes down to this play right here, man. This is kind of like a halftime sort of play where this is like I guess you could say almost a kickoff sort of thing where the kickoff is now in the hands of Arctic Wolves, and we're going to see if they're able to run it back and get themselves into the end zone, and that end zone being the Orb Prime turn-in. But something we see sometimes is teams, if you're defending an Orb Prime turn-in around this area of the map right here, which I'm trying to get to as I get sunked behind. Come on, we can do it. We can do it. All right, well, it's not letting me do it. Where you actually bait the team into turning the Orb Prime. At the moment that you see a disconnect between the two teams, you initiate hard and punish it. We actually saw that in the finals between Balef and Triangle Formation. Triangle Formation turned it in, but Giant Ship exposed his backline. So they have to be very, very careful. It's going to be a very tense moment for both of these teams. But right now, they're not really pushing it. They're taking their time. They're being patient. They're just looking for any sort of opportunity. And maybe if nothing presents itself, Arctic Wolves are going to be like, you know what? We're okay with this. We're just going to continue to farm the map and try to out-farm you to gain an advantage. So many different avenues that they can go down to get themselves an advantage. And here comes the push.
Yeah, I was expecting actually a split push from Bixel. You do have Muriel, of course, in the other lane with her global presence with that ultimate. She's able to still farm some card experience, give her a little advantage with the card experience, and then if she needs to come over and say, we just saw that one legend uses GTFO on that crazy fool there. He does. Did quite a bit of damage, but
Nebos he was looking for the ult. You could tell he was looking for the ult. The GTFO, I think, was just miscommunication. Bixel's in a lot of trouble. Muriel being forced out. Here comes the dunk. It actually completely whiffs, though. Doesn't even hit the rim right now. There's the counter one onto Raptor Sphinx. So already we do see that Team Volatile has the better initiation of these team fights. And we talked about initiation. Down goes Bixel because he was the one who was caught out of position. Raptor Sphinx in a lot. Yeah, Raptor Sphinx in a lot of trouble as well. He's more than likely going to get taken out here. And this is 1-4-2. They were able to pick up Steel, but it doesn't matter. Arctic Wolves had to put so much into taking down Steel that they pretty much had no wind left in their sails. They got 2 people taken down here. They still have the Orb Prime maybe for a couple of seconds, I believe. I'm not sure who it's on. It might be taken off. But nonetheless, that's still a favorable exchange for Team Volatile.
Yeah, it does look like it's on Muriel right now, if I'm not mistaken. No, I'm sorry. It is on Grim. The one legend has it. Just melted Crazy Fool.
Yeah.
Crazy Fool came in to try and get defensive, just melted. The Prime Orb has fallen off, but they got 3 kills. They got a tier 1 tower, and there's no split push from Arctic Wolves. They are on the defense here. Their lanes are pushed out, which is nice, but I mean, they tried to play aggressive, and they got split up. The Steel ult miss was huge. Yeah. And it gave Team Volatile the opportunity to not only land an ult, but capitalize on that and get some kills.
Yeah, missing that ultimate was the really big pretty much the biggest thing that put the nail in the coffin. If they maybe that hit 1 or 2 people, it could have gone the other way. But looking at the current numbers, man, we do see that it's about the 2 to 3 card experience right now for the favorite team, Volatile. SG Wolves, they've been in this territory before. When we saw them last week against Kill on Sight, they are able to make up. They were down even a larger card experience than they are currently. So they definitely, and they have a composition that goes very well into the late game as well. I think as far as compositions goes, it's 2 Rangers versus 2 Rangers with 1 frontliner and Iggy and a Muriel. The only difference between these compositions is there's a Grim and a Murdoch. Everything else is pretty much the exact same. So with that being said, Arctic Wolves certainly have the capabilities to get themselves back in this match. That last team fight could have gone either way. It just came down to Raptor Spank missing that shield ultimate. I mean, what can these teams do? There's no Orb Prime. I think just fall back on your map. Don't give any more kills up if you're Arctic Wolves, and just try to continue to get your Rangers as built as you can, specifically the Murdoch. Crazy Fool. If they do land that shield slam and they're able to line it up with a devastating blast, they can take, I mean, someone like Grim, they can take him out very, very quickly. And taking out Grim in these early parts of the match really can just swing the momentum in your hands at a moment's notice.
Yeah, I mean, it really can. We need to see. They have to play defensively at this point. Like you said, if they die, if they pick up a death here for nothing, they have one of the best lane clears in the game with Bixel. Bixel can split push. I say put Bixel in a lane and try and bait the other team into another engagement, and just give Bixel time to push down towers and push lanes out. We've seen him split push in the past very, very effectively, and just get caught up in card experience. They're not too far behind. Arctic Wolves is not too far behind right now. 1 or 2 card, yes, you can start seeing the advantage for Team Volatile, but if they farm effectively, start getting those last hits, don't die needlessly, they can put themselves right back into this game and take the win. It's not like they're desperate with towers. They're not too far behind on towers. They're still in a very good spot, and they just need to play defensively and maybe pick up a kill. I mean, if they can get a kill here, would put them right back in this fight.
4 people on the side of SG are now hanging out in this right part of the lane, but the ward being placed by Volatile. Volatile really only has like 2 or 3 wards, almost all on this right side of the map. When it comes to map vision, it's firmly in the hands.
Spank
oh, here it goes. Initiation on Omain. Can they follow it up? The devastating blast was queued up, but he decided against it. But look at this. The turnaround. Omain says, we don't even care. The Muriel ults from there. Immediately going in. Beautiful coordination from the Muriel onto Omain, using the flame belch to knock him back. No kills yet. The Nebos, he does land the ultimate onto Unbound Fire. Muriel ult already forced out. There's a shockwave on a Raptor Spank. He's very low. Turn around and try to get Raptor Spank. But they got to make sure they don't overextend here, because this is actually a 5v4 with the power play being in the hands of Team Volatile right now. Grim is finally starting to rotate over here. No one going down there. 2 steel ults, 2 Muriel ults. That looks great. There's the devastating blast, but it's not going to be enough. Everyone's so low. There's the Muriel shield. God's Gunman is down to about a quarter energy, so you have to be careful not to overstay their welcome. Finally, the one legend is coming in here. There is a tower to protect him. If GTFO, if they can land it on Gunman, if he can land it on any one of these low targets, so many low people on the side of the field, this is very tense. This is very tense. I think both of these teams are going to be very hesitant to make any sort of engagements. They're trying to fill each other out, and they're trying to look for any sort of positional mistakes right here. Obviously, defender's advantage going to SG Arctic Wolves right now, Notch.
Yeah, how many times have we seen this here where the one team gets too confident, they dive a tower, and they lose? Team Volatile is they're playing very smart right now. They're not diving this tower, even though there are God's Gunman, Bixel, both very, very low. They played that very, very smart. Good play from these guys. We do have Bixel recalling. They are in an advantage with the recall. God's Gunman, like you said, GTFO and God's Gunman, that's going to be a kill. I'm waiting to see if he queues it up. He hasn't queued it up yet.
Gotta be careful. If I'm God's Gunman, I'm saving at least one of my shields for in GTFO. That's what I'm doing right now. I have to save one of my shields, because if a GTF flow lands on either Crazy Fool or God's Gunman, it's probably going to be enough. I mean, taking a look at the build from Legion, he's one of the most farmed people. He's more farmed than anyone on the side of SG Arctic. Right now, there's the initiation. Secondary shield slam, but this could be bad. I'm not sure, but the Muriel ult is there as well, so they're going in, but Nebos is taking a lot of damage. He charges out. One more shot. One more shot's on the Nebo. The shield is there. Nebo's still alive. He can't take down a god, apparently. He's going to be able to get away now. Crazy Fool's in a lot of trouble. There's a shield slam. Onto 3, nothing but net. But Crazy Fool went down. They don't have their Murdoch. They don't have a devastating blast. Raptor Spank is going to try to take out Leo Grande. The rotations here. Finally, Muriel gets taken out. But with the 1-for-1 exchange, they are going to be able to pick up this tier 1 tower. That was so much patience displayed on both sides of the field. And ultimately, that's going to be an exchange. Oh, GTFO. Oh, man, Raptor Spank. He takes one for his team. Saving Private Ryan right there. God's Gunman's going to stay alive. But, man, that one Legion, his grim play, on point. But I was going to say that was a slight favorable exchange for Team Volatile right there. But after getting that secondary kill, that one Legion's definitely going to have a little bit of swagger in her step after showing off that right there, Notch.
Yeah, the posturing from Team Volatile, waiting for ults to come back up and then landing major ults. What a good engagement from them. I just mentioned, how many times have we seen these guys die under a tower, and they proved me wrong. Said, oh no, we're gonna fight under this tower, we're gonna take it, and we're gonna get very, very big kills here.
Yeah.
They set themselves up.
I don't know how Nebos got away there. He was so low. I thought he was going to be going down, then he uses a shield wall to keep himself alive while still tanking under the tower. The coordination of the shields between the Steel ultimate into the Muriel ultimate was beautiful. I had to say, I mean, Team Volatile, they know how to dive towers, man. They know how to dive towers. They almost got this down to an art.
Yeah, and look at the card advantage now. Definitely, I mean, we've got 36 total points. Iggy and Scorch is at 42 total points. He's built tanky like we thought he was going to. He's getting ready to go into his Tainted Magic. One of the things we saw, and it was quick. Last week, or 2 weeks ago, it was at 5 seconds, but they actually changed Iggy and Scorch's ultimate. So instead of being a 5 second and just kind of dealing a damage and then the knockback, it's 2.5 seconds now. So we saw Omain pop his ultimate. He did the full 2.5 seconds, which is not a lot of time, dealing quite a bit of damage, and then actually with the major knockback there, a lot of people said it was a nerf. I think it's kind of a buff to Iggy and Scorch.
It's situationally better, and there's situations where it's better and situations where worse now. So, I mean, ultimately, Iggy's still very effective. The ultimate is still very effective. It's just effective in some situations better and not as effective in other situations. So I think we're still going to see a lot of Iggy play. I think out of all the energy-based heroes, ability-based energy heroes, Gideon, Iggy, Howitzer, I think Iggy, I mean, Gideon was actually banned, but I expect to see a lot of Iggy, a lot of Gideon, especially with the way Decker has been changed. Obviously, Decker not being able to be in play here right now, but because actually Decker wasn't even banned, and neither of his teams picked her up, which is very interesting. But
especially with the changes, Muriel is still a very, very strong
Muriel still got
here.
here.
We do see in favor of, again, my colors are backwards, so orange on mine is no, blue on mine is Arctic Wolves. They are pushing out this tier 2 tower, it looks like. My colors are right. Legion is going to come over and defend this, but half damage on this tier 2 tower just because of Winions. I mean, let's go Winions.
If I am Arctic Wolves, I'm seeing Legion on the other side of the map, and I'm also seeing that Team Volatile is set up around the Orb Prime. I would be either looking to force an engagement or force ourselves onto the Orb Prime. Your whole team is over here. I would like to see a little bit of a commitment here. If they continue to play the status quo game, I'm not sure it's going to really work out in their favor because they are behind 2 to 3 card levels. The Rangers of their opponent are starting to get to that point. I mean, we're up to 30 minutes. They're starting to get to that point where they're going to start doing so much damage that Muriel's not really going to be a factor anymore. We saw that in the last game where there's a certain point where Muriel shields don't scale as well as Rangers auto attack damage. So once you get into this 30, 45 minute plus, Muriel's effectiveness goes down significantly. So
but could that be
they aren't going to commit here. It could be it's indecisiveness. It's indecisiveness. Where that indecisiveness stems from, absolutely could be nerves or just a little bit of a miscommunication. But that's what I'm talking about. Decisiveness coming out here from Team Volatile. Crazy Fool gets blown up. By the time they're able to do anything, now Gudsman, he is a little bit of trouble. He should be okay. Muriel ult coming out on the Unbound Fire. More so, that was just to get Gudsman's out of position. There is no tier 1 tower, so Team Volatile, they continue the push. And more than likely, Gudsman is going to be able to boost himself away with the speed boost. The flank coming out from one Legion knocks back that beautiful flank coming out. One Legion, such a strong display of individual talent coming out from him. He came out through the jungle. He knocked back the Twin Blast into an awful position. What more than likely would have been Muriel or Twin Blast getting away turns out to both of them going down on the shoulders of that beautiful play. Heads up play coming out from Grim. And now they're going to fall, take this Orb Prime. And Team Volatile, the game has been slightly in their favor for majority of this match, but with that team fight right there, they are firmly in control. This is their game to lose.
Yeah, that was an amazing flank from that one Legion. We talked about the ability to displace the enemy with his orb. It's a orb that comes out, it's an AoE. When it hits a hero or just explodes, it knocks everybody out, and it's a huge knockback on it. And you just saw the effect of that. Pixel is very, very low. We do get an ultimate here from Muriel, but Pixel is going to fall.
Man. With the
Am I
orb,
ahead of you again? I feel like I'm maybe a little bit ahead of you.
maybe just a second, but with
Okay.
the Prime Helix being on the side of Team Volatile, taking out the Iggy, this is just not a good situation for Arctic Wolves. I feel like Arctic Wolves, yeah, I mean, they're being so non-committal. They're being indecisive, and I think that's really their biggest fault right now. There was an opportunity, like I said, where Legion was on the other side of the map. It was a 5v4 situation. I'm sure they were aware of it. They didn't really do anything. They didn't push their advantage, as they're doing a little bit of a shuffle with the orb right here.
Yeah.
But yeah, no Iggy for 25 seconds. Now, the left lane is pushed in significantly in the favor of Arctic Wolves, but with the wave clear on the side of Volatile, they should be able just to do a slow siege, just be smart about it, be patient, as both these teams have displayed a great deal of patience. And they should be able, I think, Team Volatile, they're in a situation where they can either turn in this Prime Helix or look for a strong team fight, forcing out a misposition out of Arctic Wolves.
Yeah, I just froze, is what happened. I just froze. Hold on, we're coming back. We're back now. We talked about the patience. The patience has definitely favored Team Volatile. What they've done here is they've postured themselves, especially with the engagement under that tower. They waited till their ults were up. We saw an amazing engagement. Crazy. The colors are backwards. I apologize. I have to write these names down. Arctic Wolves is playing very, very passively. I think it may be nerfs. They haven't had a team fight that they've won. Every engagement has gone in the favor
initiation
of...
on a Crazy Fool. Crazy Fool just outright out of position. He's outright out of position. Raptor Spink is here. The ultimate on a Crazy Fool is there. Raptor Spink, look for an ultimate. Here it comes down onto 2. It does hit 1 Legion, but it's too late. Raptor Spink wasn't there. Crazy Fool was just way ahead of his team, and now with no Murdoch, that's just going to be the collapse of Arctic Wolves right here. Raptor Spink is the next target to be taken out. The Orb Prime is going to be turned in. This is definitely a tier 2 tower going down in this lane. Potentially could be an inhibitor as well, and again, they weren't consolidated. Crazy Fool got a little bit ahead of himself. Team Volatile, they did this against Kill on Sight, and they're doing it once again for SG Arctic Wolves. They are punishing with such decisiveness. They pulled that trigger. They got a very quick trigger finger, and it's really paying off for them, man. This inhibitor's dead to rights.
Yeah, Crazy Fool way out of position there. He got dunked on by Nebos. The ult came in, but it was just the amount of damage that 1 Legion and Pixel are doing. Like you said, they don't scale. Muriel's shields don't scale, and she can't keep up with the damage that these 2 carries are doing. Tons of damage coming out of that 1 Legion.
Especially Grim, man. Especially out of that Grim, man. They're going to go for a core push. I think they can get it. They have the Prime Helix.
Orb.
That's going to be game. Yeah, that's...
What a good game.
Look at the stylistic end from Nebos onto the 4-man ultimate right there. That's what I'm talking about. That's how you end the game right there.
What a